So students, now we are starting our new chapter, water, a precious resource. Okay, as the heading is quoted here, Jal hai to kal hai. It means if you have water, you can think of the future. Because in class 6, you already read about the uses of water and the importance of water. Okay, so in this class, you just read about the conversation, or you can say that conservation of water. Okay, so you are perhaps aware that 22 March is celebrated as the World Water Day. Okay, if you don't know, you have to understand it. A school celebrated Water Day and invited posters from the children's of your age. Okay, group. Some of poster presented on the date as shown here. Okay, so if you see, these are the posters. Save every drop of water as every drop counts. Okay, you can save water. Okay, my best friend water. So these are the creativity of children's which make collage of posters. What is the message you get from these posters? Write your observation in your notebook and discuss them in class. Okay, so you can, after completing this class, you have to write this. Okay, and discuss with me. Have you ever felt a shortage of water at home or at school? Your parents or teachers must very often be advised you not to waste water. Okay, your parents in your home nowadays especially advised you. No wonder we celebrate Water Day every year to attract the attention of everybody towards the importance of conserving water. The amount of water recommended by the United Nations for drinking, washing, cooking, and maintaining proper hygiene is a minimum of 50 liters per person per day. So you can understand 50 liters per day. This amount is about 2.5 buckets of water per person per day. Okay, अगर हम इस अमाउंट की बात करें तो कम से कम 2.5 बाल्टी की पानी की जो है बात करी जा रही है यूज करने के लिए एक दिन में. Is your family getting at least this much of water? If yes, you should consider yourself fortunate because millions of people in our country do not get enough water. What about your friends and their families? Share your experience with them. Okay, you can share your experience, and in class 6 you already read about how to calculate the amount of water which you have used in your home. Okay, in some places there is an acute shortage of water. Taps running dry, long quizzes of water. Okay, fights, marches, and protests for demand of water have become a common sight, especially during summers. क्योंकि गर्मियों में आपने देखा हो कि पानी के लिए बड़ी लंबी लंबी लाइनें लगती हैं नलों में, ठीक है, या कहीं पे भी जहाँ पर पानी अवेलेबल होता है. Some of the newspaper clippings shown in figure 6.3 clearly indicate this message. Is it not true that we face acute shortage of water? क्या ऐसा ही नहीं है कि हम जो है बहुत ज़्यादा पानी की कमी जो है महसूस कर रहे हैं. So you can see long square of water. So you can easily understand to see by this figure is that how much shortage of water is in nowadays. So an activity for you that collect clippings from newspapers and magazines on the news items, articles, and pictures related to water shortage. Paste them in your scrapbook and share it with your friends. List some problems faced by people and discuss them in the class. Okay, तो आपने कुछ क्लिपिंग या न्यूज़पेपर्स या मैगजीन से, ठीक है, कुछ आर्टिकल्स देखने हैं जो पानी की कमी से रिलेटेड होंगे, ठीक है, और उनको एक स्क्रैप बुक में आपने पेस्ट करना है, ठीक है, और फिर आप शेयर कर सकते हैं उसे, ठीक है, एक दूसरे के साथ। वाटर शॉर्टेज has become a matter of concern throughout the world. It is estimated that in a few years from now, more than one third of people in the world could face water scarcity. Okay. So you can see this type of newspaper you have to collect it, that water related to water conservation. You can see increase your productivity. What is if 2006 get less rain? Okay, this type of newspaper clippings. Year 2003 was observed as the International Year of Freshwater to make people aware of this dwindling natural resource. Before we discuss why water is getting scarce, we must know how much water is available for use on our planet. Okay, so first we discuss about the how much water is currently available. Now you have to look at the picture of the earth taken from space. Why does it appear blue? Surely you can guess. Okay, you are aware that about 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water. Almost all the water on the earth is contained in the seas and oceans, rivers, lakes, ice caps, as groundwater, and in the atmosphere. Okay, you can feel that this chapter is going to be very easy for you because you are already read about these things in class 6 also. These are just an you can say elaboration of that. However, most of this water is not fit to or fit for human consumption directly. The water, you can see the earth appears blue from space. This is the figure that is fit for use is a fresh water. Perform the following activity to estimate roughly the relative amount of water available in some of these sources. Okay, so you have to do an activity that most of us assume water to be limitless resource. From this activity, can you appreciate the actual amount of water available for human use? Does the finding worry you? Discuss in your class. Okay, so you can see here. First, what you have to step do, take a medium size bucket. Okay, you have to take a medium size bucket and fill it up with water. It contains about 20 liters of water. Okay, this was, then you have to assume that this water represents all the water present on earth. Okay, it 20-liter water, if you say, you have to just make a representation that it contains all the water present on earth. Next activity, take a teaspoonful of amount 5 ml capacity and transfer 100 spoons of water from the bucket to a small container like a bath mug. Okay, like a bath mug, you can transfer the 100 spoons of water from the bucket. This represents total fresh water on the earth. You can see that that much only amount, only 100 if you say spoons are available on earth. So you can, this is just for demonstration to understand you that actually how much less amount is present for drinking. Then from the bath mug, transfer 30 spoons of water to a glass tumbler. This gives a measure of usable water present as groundwater. So you can see groundwater also so much less. Then finally take out a quarter spoonful of water from bug, only that much. Okay, you can see in figure as this much only. It represents all the water represents in all the lakes and rivers of the world. So you can worry about it. The water left in the bucket represents the saline water. Okay, there is some water left here, na? You can say that when we use this water and the spoon one, some water also left in this bucket. So this water represents the saline water present in the seas, oceans, and partially as groundwater. This water is not fit for human use, as you already know. The water left in the bath mug represents the water which is present in the frozen form in glaciers, ice caps, and permanent snow, again not available readily. Okay. Now, Bujo wondered about the alarmingly small quantity of water. Okay, alarmingly small quantity of water available for our use, and Paheli quickly calculated and found that this amount is roughly 0.006% of all water found on the earth. Okay, so that much less amount for drinking. So now we read about the forms of water. Are you afraid that continuous use will someday exhaust all the water available for use? You know that water on the earth has been maintained for millions of years by various processes which make the water cycle. You have studied the water cycle in class 6 also. Write in your own words what you know about the water cycle. Okay. You know that when water circulates through the water cycle, it can be found in all the three forms, that is solid, liquid, and gas. Okay, if you recall your class 6, you because it was something our last chapters, so I think you remember that the water cycle process is just the evaporation, transpiration comes, okay, then it come back to ocean again. Okay, so this process you can understand, and this cycle is found in all three forms, solid, liquid, and gas. At any given time somewhere on the earth, the solid form, snow and ice, is present as ice caps at the poles of the earth, snow-covered mountains and glaciers. Liquid water is present in oceans, lakes, rivers, and even underground. The gaseous form is the water vapor present in the air around us. The continuous cycling of water among its three forms keeps the total amount of water on the earth constant, even when the whole world is using it. Does it give you any relief? Can you recall the processes involved in water cycle? The following activity will help you. Okay, what are the processes which take place during this process of water cycle? Now you can recall it again by doing this activity. So figure 16.5 shows the processes involved in the water cycle. They are labeled by numbers. Match these numbers with the processes given in the jumbled form. So most towns and cities have water supply system maintained by the civic. If you see, maintained by the civic bodies. Okay, so first we see about the different bodies of water cycle. There are numbers and written here. Their forms also resonant weight. Okay, and atonis verb. Okay, so these are just. So students, tell me about the first thing. Okay, what do you understand by this first? Given below. First, it is in jumbled form. Anyone tell? It is written as RUT. First one. These are in jumbled form. Okay. So you have to tell to me that what are the actual their name. Okay. Very good. First is groundwater. Second one. Second one. You can see image also. Okay. In your book also you can see. You can see in screen also. Second is what happening? Second. Here water goes back upside now. You can see easily. Second one. So you can uh, in jumble form you just you have to guess what is it. It's in the real form, so it's evaporation. Okay. Hmm. Third. Third. Third is tell. Okay, you tell fourth one. 4. This is 4. These are clouds. Okay. Next. Uh, yes. 6 1. No. Okay. And last one. Okay. When you make it their form, when you have time, you can easily understand it. Okay. Now we goes again, and you can understand. The water is drawn from nearby lakes, rivers, ponds, or wells. The water is supplied through a network of pipes. Many villages do not have such a water supply system. There, people fetch water directly from the sources. Often, people and even children have to walk several kilometers to fetch water. Okay, if you see figure, okay, if you live in a place where scarcity of water, you can easily see this figure. The children suffer a lot. They cannot attend school regularly since they spend hours in fetching water. Now, Pujo said that women have to perform a number of household chores. If they have also to spend time to fetch water, it adds to their burden. That's right. So, a large number of people draw water from wells, tube wells, or hand pumps. From where do these sources get water? Okay, in class 6 also you read. So, now you have to recall it. Okay, so groundwater as an important source of water. Okay, so if we dig a hole in the ground near a water body, we may find that the soil is moist. Okay, the moisture in the soil indicates the presence of water underground. If we dig deeper and deeper, we would reach a level where all the space between particles of soil and gaps between rocks are filled with water. Okay, the upper level of this layer is called the water table. So you can see in figure also, this is the ground level and water table. Okay, so you can see here easily first with this form. Okay, this is the groundwater. Okay, and it's just above the ground. Okay, just nearby the ground, it's called water table. Upper level of this layer. Okay, so the water table varies from the place to place, and it may be even changed at a given place. Okay, because there is a not necessary that there is a fixed layer. The water table may be at a depth of less than a meter or maybe several meters below the ground. The water found below the water table is called groundwater. So just below, water which found just below the water table is known as groundwater. So what is the source of this groundwater? The rainwater and water from other sources such as rivers and ponds seeps through the soil and fills the empty spaces and cracks deep below the ground. The process of seeping of water into the ground is called infiltration. Okay, so what is the definition? What you said, the terms infiltration, process of seeping of water. Okay, रिसना कहते हैं ना, से पानी रिस रहा है, तो the process of seeping of water into the ground is called infiltration. The groundwater thus gets recharged by this process. At places, the groundwater is stored between layers of hard rock below the water table. This is known as aquifer. Okay, at places, the groundwater is stored between layers of hard rock below the water table. This is known as aquifer. Water in the aquifer can be usually pumped out with the help of tube wells and or hand pumps. Okay, so what water we which actually get from these hand pumps or tube wells is a aquifer. So have you ever been to site where construction work is going on? Okay, from where do the workers get water for construction? Maybe you have seen boring being done at such sites to reach the water table. Okay, and if you see how when hand pump is placed in any area of your nearby, so you can easily understand it. Inquire from the people working there how deep they have to dig. Can we keep on drawing water from under the ground? How will it affect the water table? Okay, so in class 7 you just read about a new term, water table here. So what are the reason of depletion of water table? Now we read. Depletion of water table. Water drawn from under the ground gets restored by seepage of rainwater. The water table does not get affected as long as we draw as much as water as it replenished by natural process. Okay, replenished. You already read about the term replenished. Okay, in crops mainly. If you see, if water is somehow again come back to this ground level, it is not a worry condition. But however, water table may go down if the water is not sufficiently replenished. This may happen due to many reasons. Okay, first reason, increase in population, industrial and agriculture activities are some common factors affecting water table. Scanty rainfall is another factor that may deplete the water table. Yet another factor affecting water table could be deforestation and decrease in the effective area for seepage of water. As you read in class 6, that is somewhere concrete made houses. Okay, concrete in roadside and other in home side. So seepage of water or ground level water decrease by this activity. So first we read about in detail increase population. Increasing population creates demand for construction of houses, shops, offices, roads and pavements. This decreases the open areas like parks and playgrounds. This in turn decreases the seepage of rainwater into the ground. What could be the consequence? Recall that a pucca floor does not allow water to seep in easily. Okay, while in a grass lawn, water seeps through in no time. Okay, आप इसको इजीली भी देख सकते हैं, अगर आप सीमेंट में अपने घर में पानी करते हैं, ठीक है, तो वो नीचे नहीं जाता है एकदम से. अगर हम किसी मिट्टी में डालते हैं या ग्राउंड में डालते हैं तो पानी एकदम से नीचे रिस जाता है. सो दिस इज द consequence or you can say bad effect of increasing population or depletion of water also. Moreover, a huge amount of water is required for construction work. Often groundwater is used for this purpose. So on the one hand, we are consuming more groundwater, and on the other hand, we are allowing lesser water to seep into the ground. Okay, this result in depletion of water table. In fact, the water table in some parts of many cities has gone down to alarmingly low levels. Okay, as you know about some cities, as New Delhi, etc. Okay, so their water table level is go down very much because there is no, you can say many houses are there, and you can say no ground level is found there now. So if we talk about next how increasing industries will affect the water table. So water is used by all the industries. Almost everything that we use needs water somewhere in its production process. The number of industries is increasing continuously. Water used by most of the industries is drawn from the ground. So an activity you have to do, name some industries familiar to you, make a list of the products obtained from these and used in our daily life. Discuss with your teacher and parents how the growing industrial activity is responsible for the depletion of water table. Okay, I can understand that you have not these type of agriculture industries just nearby, but you can hear from news and etc. Okay, that how industrial uh, will use water. Okay, so you can easily understood it. If you talk about further agriculture activities, a majority of farmers in India depend upon rains for irrigating their crops. Irrigation systems such as canals are there only a few places. Even these systems may suffer from lack of water due to erratic rainfall. Therefore, farmers have to use groundwater for irrigation. Population pressure or agriculture forces increasing use of groundwater day by day. This results in depletion of water table also. So next is distribution of water. The distribution water over to the globe is quite uneven due to the number of factors. Some places have good amount of rain and are rich water rich there. Okay, if you good amount of rain, there are places water rich also. On the other hand, there are deserts which have scanty rainfall. India is a vast country and the rainfall is not the same everywhere. Some regions have excessive rain while some other have very little rainfall. Excessive rains cause floods whereas the absence of rain results in droughts. ठीक है, ज़्यादा बारिश होती है जैसे आजकल आप देख रहे होंगे कि बाढ़ आना, और अगर बिल्कुल कम बारिश होती है या नहीं होती है तो सूखा पड़ जाता है, ड्रॉट्स. Therefore, some regions in our country may have floods while other may suffer from droughts at the same time. ठीक है, एक ही समय में ये घटनाएं होती हैं. Name some industries familiar to you. Make sorry. So next activity is given here is the rainfall map of India. It gives the average annual rainfall in different regions of our country. So first we see this map. This is the map of India. Okay. So you can see different colors are here. You have to understand it. If you see this color, okay, it means above 400 centimeter rainfall occur here, very much high. Okay, so if you see, you have to just locate yourself also in Uttarakhand is somehow here. Okay, here is Uttarakhand. So if you see 100 to 200 centimeter rainfall occur here. So locate on the map the places you live in. Are you blessed with sufficient rainfall? Is there sufficient water available in your area throughout the year? It may be possible that we are living in an area where there is sufficient rainfall, yet there is shortage of water. Can we attribute this to mismanagement of water resources? क्या हम इसे mismanagement कह सकते हैं water resources का? तो हम पढ़ेंगे water management के बारे में. You have read in class 6 that in many places a regular supply of water is provided by a well-planned pipe system. When the civic authorities supply water through pipes, not all of it may reach the destination. You might have seen water supply pipes leaking and a lot of water gushing out of the pipes. It is the responsibility of the receiving authorities to prevent such wastage of precious water. आपने भी देखा होगा कि नलों में से जो पानी आता है, ठीक है, कई जगह पर टूटा होता है, कहीं से रिसरा होता है, तो ये क्या है, जो अथॉरिटीज हैं उन्हें इन्हें देखना चाहिए. Mismanagement or wastage may take place at the level of individuals also. Okay, all of us knowingly or unknowingly waste water while brushing teeth, shaving, bathing, washing, and during many other activities. Okay, leaking taps is another source of used water wastage. We waste water as though we do not need water the next time. Okay, we have seen that most of the water that we get as rainfall just flows away. This is a waste of precious natural resource. The rainwater can be used to recharge the groundwater. Okay, जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि बारिश होती है और बहुत सारा पानी ऐसे ही जो है एटमॉस्फेयर में फिर से वापस चला जाता है, तो हम उसको स्टोर नहीं कर पाते। तो इसके लिए अगर हम इसको यूज करते हैं फिर से, तो इसको कहा जाता है वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग और रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग, about which you have learned in class 6 also. Find out if the buildings in your neighborhood have water harvesting system installed. We have at many places in India an age old practice of water storage and water recharge like the Bowries. Bowry was the traditional way of collecting water. With time, the Bowries fell into disuse and garbage started filling in these reservoirs. Okay, however, because of the acute water shortage, people in these areas have had to rethink the boundaries are being reviewed. Okay, revived. Today, the situation is that in spite of scanty rains, these places are managing their water needs well. A farmer using water in the field can also use water economically. Maybe you have heard of drip irrigation. Okay, in class 8 you will be read about it more clearly. Drip irrigation is a technique of watering plants by making use of narrow tubing which deliver water directly at the base of plant. Okay, you can see in figure this is the drip irrigation in a field. Okay, in this method drop by drop water is given to the plant. You can see this is the drip system here, these are the pipes and these are just connected to the roots of this plant. Okay, so drop by drop water is given and no water wastage at all in this process. So a case study is here that Bhojpur in the Kutch area of Gujarat has a very erratic rainfall. The only source of fresh water lies underground because rivers in this area do not have water throughout the year. Over the years, demand for water has grown. The withdrawal of groundwater has far exceeded recharge. As a result, the water table has gone down alarmingly. In 1989, the villagers, along with a non governmental organization or NGO, decided to harvest rainwater. 18 check dams were built on the Rukma of the river and its many tributaries. The water so collected increased percolation through the soil and recharged the aquifers. According to farmers, the wells have water now, and the water that flowed into the sea and was wasted has become available for irrigation. So, this type of activity you can also do in your home or in your villages. This type of practices you can also adopt. So, water wise habits first is turn off taps while brushing. Okay, this is for you, especially mop the floor instead of washing. Okay, you have to just mop the floor. पोछा लगाना कहते हैं ना, वो करना है. Again, you said.
Sir, you teach us well. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you so much.